Meditation connect your life. I'm about to burn it out.
Hello and welcome to Totally Tell Me, a weekly entertainment review podcast where we talk about movies, music, food, and fun. My name's Dominic Mercurio, and I'm here with Laura Weinbach.
Yo.
What's
What
up,
up?
my sunny sister?
Nothing much, my moonchild brother. Looking good over there.
We're in a daylight savings
That-
time sort of new world, new look kind of thing.
Doesn't feel that different, but I love it.
I guess the
love
sun
it.
is kind of setting at this point, but just minutes ago we were bright as can be, just little
Minutes ago,
bumblebees.
It was not bright as can be. It was a lot brighter at like 1 p.m., but hey, who's
I
counting?
suppose so. And our guest today is Matt Mangs. What's up?
Hello. Now I will speak as
You
I've
can-
been acknowledged as
Yes.
existing
You
in
may,
the digital
you
sphere.
may now speak.
Yes.
Thank you. Hello.
Yeah, you weren't actually supposed to
Welcome.
speak until she said that, so.
Good. Yeah.
I
yes.
grant thee permission.
Thank you, Laura.
You're welcome.
I'll do
welcome.
Laura's entrance. Yo. Too cool for school.
You
I
know
got
what?
114 podcasts under my belt.
That'll work. That'll work.
Yeah. I've got one. This one.
Oh,
Go
okay.
on.
Oh, I thought
So I'm
maybe...
fresh.
Yes,
Wow.
this
Original
is Matt's
to the
very
podcast
first
realm.
podcast.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
cool.
Speak over
Let's
you.
make it a special one.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Sorry
first-
we don't have a bottle of Cristal to welcome you with, but no, you know what? On your next round, your next
Mhm.
time on the show, we'll have something. Hopefully.
Thank you.
Oh, I mean, I think
I have a hidden bottle here, but it's not Cristal. Liberty Creek,
it?
folks. Liberty Creek.
Liberty.
Liberty
Oh,
Creek.
I know that stuff.
I'm not
Sadly, it's
familiar.
empty. This is a liter size.
Very
Oh,
nice.
Oh, nice.
Patriotic winemaker's selection. Okay, we don't need to go into it, but Liberty Creek, folks. It gets decent reviews, but yeah,
Now,
for,
Matt,
for the bargain size.
I have to say that
Good.
I think Laura might have overpromised. I really think that we're gonna have to wait until your 100th episode to bring a bottle of Cristal. So once you're back
I didn't
99
say I was.
more times.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Oh.
Can I chime in? I don't think I promised Cristal. I
Oh.
just said we'll have something next time he comes, and hopefully we'll be, as good as Cristal.
Frankly, Cristal
look-
doesn't excite me. Champagne never
Okay.
sits well physically with me.
Really?
Makes me burpy. I always want to enjoy
That's because-
champagne, but I don't.
You just have to have good champagne. See, that is the thing, is people think that they don't like it because they only had stuff that's bad. And you know why I wanted to get Cristal in the first place was because Quentin Tarantino in 4 Rooms talks about how Cristal is the only champagne that doesn't taste like piss, which I have to disagree with. Although
Yeah.
I do believe that a lot of quote unquote champagnes or sparkling wines, as they truly are kind of pissy in a way.
It
And
piss
tend
is
to make
underrated.
people not feel good.
I mean,
think it
piss is
underrated.
sterile, and
But when you have good sparkling wine, it just changes your entire.
but it still has a lot of bubbles,
Sexual
and that
world.
makes me. Ooh,
Oh, I hear what you're saying.
I got
Bubbles.
my attention. Has a lot of bubbles, and the bubbles make me burpy, and
I hear
I'll
that.
wake up in the middle of the night, full of burps and bubbles.
Wait, so
And,
do you not like sparkling water?
It doesn't have the same effect. It's the sugar too. I think. I think the sugar triggers the need for Tums when I ingest champagne.
That's the thing. No,
Tums.
then you have to have good. Then you have to have good champagne because. Good
I want champagne
will
with
not
Tums
mess
in it. I want like Tum brand
Okay.
champagne. Then I'll drink it.
You know
I
what?
gotta say-
You should get a Cristal and have some. Just drop a Tums in the entire bottle of Cristal, and I think it will make everything worth it.
I
no,
love a
that would be
Tums.
considered sacrilege.
I love a Tums. I feel like they're nearly candy, and when I eat them, it's like I'm eating my dessert for the day. I mean, they're so
I hear that.
yummy. Especially, you know what you gotta get is I think it's
Those
just
like coated ones.
coated. What? I don't even know about those.
Yeah.
What
I
are they
got
coated
one.
with?
Some kind of candy shell, like a sort of soft, sort of Advil-esque type shell.
I'm gonna get my
That
Tums.
does-
Hold on.
Give them a whole new texture.
Advil-esque. I'm sold. It's
Ha-
delicious.
Don't you think Advil is good? I love how it tastes.
I don't ingest painkillers that much.
I don't either, but like
yeah, but-
the few times I've had it, it has that good sugar coating. It's like
Oh, okay.
the only one of those kinds of ibuprofen, or not ibuprofen. Wait, is it ibuprofen pills that has a sugar coating? I think,
Which
and
one?
it's actually Advil.
Oh yeah. Oh, I have those in.
It's
Look,
good.
I mean,
Don't you
I
think it's
guess
good?
I'm gonna get some props. I'm getting some props.
Advil by the bed. Here he's reaching
Yeah.
for it.
Look, this. I
Oh,
honestly.
is that the? Hold on, let me see that.
Those are the gels. So
Let me.
they're
Oh yeah,
different,
those are
right?
the gels. That's not
No,
Dominic.
but they-
No, you're wrong.
They
This
feel
is not what-
in your,
They're
in
like
your mouth.
gushers.
Those, wait, those taste good?
I mean, they kind of feel good. They're just so like.
Oh no,
like, look.
no, they don't have the.
No,
No,
no.
I'm talking about the brown ones. The brown ones. Those actually have a flavor.
Check this out, though. It's like basically is it's
Pretty,
just
it's like emerald.
I like the look of it, but does it actually? Oh, that's just it's a gel cap.
It's,
That's
yeah.
that's a transparent gel
I'm
cap.
trying to make it
Oh,
focus.
dude,
There
you're
we
not
go.
on par here. You're like totally off the mark at this point.
Okay, but anyways, here's really what I wanted to show.
say.
Tums,
Oh, yeah.
alrighty.
Tums, if you
Classic.
want to sponsor us, please do. But this is the one to get, folks. Assorted berries. Yum.
Okay, I'm gonna
It is
grab
very
something.
good.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna also grab a prop.
We're out of Tums, so I have
Talk
nothing to
amongst
grab. But yeah, when my wife was pregnant, she had a lot of indigestion, and she preferred the I think it's the mint Tums. So that's kind of our go-to.
Oh, see, that's a
but-
very different realm. That's sort
Yeah.
of like refreshing.
It's
know,
not
light.
candy. It's
No.
it's more of a has a medicinal quality to it, I suppose. But
But you know what you could
still
do?
tasty.
You could,
Yes.
you could eat one of those with like a little bar of dark chocolate, perhaps.
Mhm.
That could be a nice pairing.
The only issue is when you're eating Tums, you're trying to alleviate indigestion. You're
One would
consuming
think-
chocolate with it, but yes.
One would think, but you could just use it as a fun part of your, daily meal routine. You know, like Tums, they are for specific situations, but I get excited to use them. Gas.
There we go.
relief.
Gas
Okay.
relief. Extra. That's what I get actually. My gas in my pressure in my chest. But
These
go
are
on.
chewy bites.
This is a reveal all, really. Is what this
This is not. These are not. By the way, these are not mine.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
These are your
Okay,
husbands?
look, they're honestly really old. I don't know whose they are.
Oh, you know
They're
how
in
they
our
ended up
cupboard
here.
though.
They
I don't
came
know
with the
how they-
house when you moved in.
Yet I'll
No,
point
but
out you
look
knew
at-
exactly where
look
to
at
grab
how
them.
these look. You're right. I do.
Yeah, like my son would
Thank you
eat
for
them
pointing
all.
that out. These taste like Mentos, but it's creamy.
Mm.
If
Oh,
you can
okay.
imagine. You know what?
So
I'm
yeah, I
gonna-
do know
I'm
those. They're
dipping
chewy
it.
with the crunchy exterior. Yeah.
Yes, and when I said an Advil-esque exterior, do you see what I mean? It's like
Oh, wow.
it's sort of it's like a shell.
What does
No,
TG
wait, can you
mean?
bite that in
oh,
half?
Tums gas.
Can you bite it
What?
in half? Can we see the
Says
inside?
TG on
Uh,
it.
What's the inside look like?
Ooh, it's kind of a
Nice.
Maltese Falcon over here.
They should
So-
sell them at movie theaters. I mean,
Exactly. No, it should.
you
get
shouldn't
like
OD on them though. I don't
They
think.
should be like, buy this when you get our popcorn, so that you're not farting up the whole aisle.
I feel like I keep
somebody's
leaning
trying
to.
to
Go on.
Oh, go ahead.
It's unrelated, and perhaps I shouldn't speak about it. I feel like I keep leaning too close to my microphone.
Oh,
Is my audio good? Are we allowed to talk about that?
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is a
it's fine.
tell-all.
You
I mean,
tell
look,
me,
we've already
right?
talked-
Yeah.
We've talked about our gas
Yeah.
problems. We've talked about,
Fit in our chests, not the
Well-
not the less socially acceptable gas, which one should never speak about
I mean,
in public.
I don't know what the
That's
ones
something
that Laura
we
has
talk
for
a
us.
lot about. Wait, what?
Huh? What? Nothing. Actually, we're getting a comment. Someone, Josh from the other room, is saying, "Pepto, anyone? Pepto Bismol.
Bring it in, Joshy.
Pepto-Bismol.
Like
Bismol is
thoughts
not
on Pepto?
par.
Yeah. Thoughts on Pepto?
Oh yeah, you know what I realized? Okay, here's a topic. I was on the hunt for 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 spearmint lifesavers the other day.
Uh-huh.
I really wanted some. Or breath savers, because they have, so the difference between a lifesaver and a breath saver is that breath savers have a circular center in the middle where there's like these green dots,
and that's like the flavor pocket.
that's a flavor pocket, whereas lifesavers just have a hole in the middle and it's just not a flavor pocket. But what I ultimately really wanted was certs. I don't know if you guys remember certs. Loved them. They had little crystals in them. It was like a lifesaver, or actually a breath saver, because it was just a solid circle with these crystals in it. And I looked and I was like, I went to the store the other day and I was looking and they did not have any of that. They didn't have breath savers or lifesavers or certs, like in the aisle when you go to check out or whatever. And so I was like, this is a curious thing. So I went to the drugstore, I guess like a while back, and they didn't have it either. And I was I was like really wondering about it. I looked it up. Certs are discontinued at this point, which is a real bummer, because they had, not only did they have mint flavors, but they also had cinnamon and fruit flavor, which was a very good flavor. But
Cert?
I-
How do you spell that?
CERTS. They came in like
Okay.
a gold sort of foil type of thing.
Mhm.
But
Oh, they were
basically, I
individually
did-
wrapped? Or, no. It was like a gold foil.
No,
like,
it was like a
column
roll.
of
It
them.
was a
Yes.
roll. Yeah, it was a column. But I did manage to find some lifesavers at a
They look
at a
like
liquor
that.
store. And look, let me tell you something. I got wintergreen flavor, and I was eating it, and I was on a walk, and I'm like, I realize I don't like wintergreen flavor. I much prefer spearmint, and I'll tell you why. Wintergreen, it tastes like motherfucking Pepto-Bismol up in here. You
So
know, I
that's what
realized
spurred
that.
this digression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We really got
That's
back
what
to
the
it.
difference is. Spearmint tastes like a real mint leaf. Wintergreen tastes like Pepto-Bismol, and Pepto-Bismol is trying to taste like mint, but it is not succeeding.
No. I think Pepto-Bismol is kind of going for more of like a bubble gum.
No.
I
Yeah,
think
it's pink.
Yeah,
They color
it's
it pink. They're not.
It's like
Yes,
cotton
it's
candy,
pink.
sugary
I know
bubble
that it's
gum.
pink. I know it's pink, but it's trying to taste like mint.
Oh no.
Yes, it is. Oh my
Hell
God.
It's hard for me to
I would
comment
bet
on
you-
it without
I would
having
bet
one.
you some
but-
money right now. I bet you some money right now.
Pepto-Bismol. Let's see what like the official Pepto-Bismol description
Flavor
might be.
is supposed to be.
While he's searching, I just want to comment. And as you were commenting on those breath mints, I thought like there's not a lot of square breath mints. Usually gum is square, but breath mints are round.
Right. Why is that?
Just popped in my head. I'm
That's
sure
okay.
they focus tested it, and people
Let me think
prefer
about that.
sucking on something without
Something
hard edges.
round.
Yeah.
Wait, let's think about other things. Like, there's candies out there though that are like squared.
Square chiclets.
Well, chiclets are gum.
Oh,
So that
okay,
doesn't
gum
count.
once again.
However,
thank you.
there's plenty of rectangular and sharp cornered gums out there.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the realm of
candies-
mints, of
Okay.
the minty realm.
Right, minty realm, things you suck on.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean,
Dicks.
okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
Dicks, yeah.
Those aren't square. I'm kidding.
They can be. I mean, they come in
let
all
me
shapes
think.
and sizes. Pepto-Bismol
You've seen a
apparently.
square dick.
Oh, me personally,
Hold
absolutely
on.
not.
For a second.
But
I missed what led to square dick, but now I'm enthralled.
You're
There's
like
dicks
they
in all
can be?
shapes, I'm sure.
square dick in a circle hole, I mean, just doesn't work.
Unless you have the emotional connection, you make it work.
Right. Yeah. I guess that's
Square
true.
dick. Square
Okay,
dick.
guys.
It sounds like some kind of dance. What?
I'm here to report that Pepto-Bismol is indeed mint flavored, which is blowing my
I'm-
mind. Because
told
see,
your
I
ass.
think I'm more of like a visual
You're
over
a visual.
taste kind of person.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing the bubblegum pink, and I'm
See, those-
thinking,
I'm
bubblegum.
not-
I still don't believe it. I think they say that just to like make it more accessible. But
dude.
there's some weird Pepto-Bismol
I
flavor.
think it has to do with the fact that I can see past surface looks and you can't.
Well, you're more, auditory. He's more visual,
I
and
think
that's
I'm-
okay.
I think I'm just like really deep, honestly.
So do you think that you could tell if someone had a square dick or not, just by looking at
Yeah.
it?
Yes, I do actually. Because square is a visual description. It's not something that. Well, no, I guess square is also it's an attitude.
Well, would I have a square dick, Laura? Because I do. Do I look like a square dick?
I guess okay, now you're asking me if I could tell what someone's dick would look like based on how their face or their body looks.
Right.
You would think you can, but
But
actually-
Dominic asked me if I could just tell if a dick was square the implication being that I'm looking at the dick. So
square means not to talk about this, it's obscene, but as long as it is wide.
Oh, I
Because
like
a square
perfect
is-
square, just like a perfect,
Yeah,
little
perfect
cubic
square. So
A
like a
dick that
Minecraft
is-
dick.
A dick that is a perfect square. I think if
Yeah.
a dick was in the shape of a perfect square, I think I would be able to tell by looking at that. Yes.
Okay.
I mean,
person.
unless
I
I was
wouldn't.
blind.
Well, I wouldn't apparently, because I see Pepto-Bismol
No.
and all I taste is square dick.
But
Which is bubblegum flavor.
you see Pepto-Bismol and you taste square
I
dick. What
taste
can you
square
say?
dick.
Well, there you go. That's what it all comes down to, people.
Rafit said donuts are circles and rectangles, but not square. Wait,
That's
was that
true.
what you?
That's
I mean,
a good point.
that's true.
I
You know what
mean,
el- you know what
what
else?
about yeah?
What?
Like a
I'm
life.
thinking of like, go on.
Oh, sorry.
No, in terms of donuts, I mean, but go on.
Right.
What are you thinking
We were
of? A
talking
bear
about
claw?
those little life.
Something like a
savers,
bear
you know?
claw.
I always
Yes.
just want to you just kind of want to
Oh,
you know
stick
what I
your
mean?
tongue through them.
Yeah.
I like that.
Sure,
I
that
see
people
the
do that
appeal.
in their mouth. I mean, that's probably, once again, back to the shape thing with sucking on mints. Having no hard edges probably is more pleasurable.
Right. No, I think you're right. I think it's true because I've had things, you know what are really good that are not a circle per se, but you suck on them are Lick-a-Sticks. You know those like
Lick-a-Sticks.
fun, well, it's like the Fun Dip stick. You know Fun Dip? The powdered candy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
familiar with it. It's obscene.
It's really good. It's like fruit flavored powder, sugar, and it comes with a stick, a vanilla stick that you dip into the powder.
That's
and
like flour
lick it.
based. The stick is based. What?
You know, I'm so curious. I think it's sugar based, but
Okay.
to be honest, I love the stick. I love how it's its own flavor. It really is not like any other candy out there. And it's kind of a really wonderful like canvas for, you know, enhancing the other flavors. But yeah, you suck on that thing so long and it becomes a sharp stick. And
shiv,
it can
perhaps.
cut. It can
Right,
cut you.
a weapon.
It can cut you.
Something
It
for
can cut you.
something for when you go to prison and need a
Candies you don't find in jail, but if you have a loved one in
candies
jail
you
who
don't find in
needs a defensive weapon, you can give him one.
There you go.
That would be so crazy. Like, what if somebody killed somebody by Lick-a-Stick?
Well, they were like, they
Like,
went
imagine
to
the,
the
guy's
concierge.
funeral and his family was like, "We're so sad that we lost our poor Hector when he was stabbed by that Lick-a-Stick."
Oh, I'm
It's
thinking
just
of
the
the
most
I'm thinking of the guy who
devastating
had
thing
to
we
get
ever
it.
had.
I don't know if
The
they'd
guy who had to
specify
get-
the source. They would just
Right.
say he
Like
was
some
stabbed.
hardcore-
Period. If someone pressed it, like, what was he stabbed with? Like, typically you'd think a knife. People don't
A
ask what they're
Lick-a-Stick?
stabbed with, but yeah, and it comes out.
No, but like, imagine the guy who killed him, and he's like in the mate with his cellmate, and he's like,
Yeah.
"I'm getting ready to murder Hector tonight."
Yeah, he's
And
like
the guy's
licking his
like,
stick, like, oh, I've been planning this for a while.
No, he's
And the
called
guy's
it.
like, "How?" His cellmate's like, "How you gonna do it?" And he's like, "I got this Lick-a-Stick. It's getting motherfucking sharp up in here."
Yeah, I've been
I like
licking
the
this
idea-
into a blade.
I like the idea of him calling his loved one, being like, "Hey man, you got any Lick-a-Sticks that you could send me? I got a plan of brewing."
Like, send me 5 packs of Fun Dip ASAP, motherfucker.
You'll see how I get out. Every day he just uses one to
I got a
like.
motherfucker. Every day he's like,
One lick a day until it's sharp enough to take out. And the guy's
it's
name
like
rhymes.
he's got like one stick in his mouth and the other one's like up his butt, melting into a sharp stick.
Very good, very good. Thank you for taking it there.
And with that, we will be talking about Nomadland in the second half of this episode. For those just tuning in, wondering what the hell is going on, you know, we're gonna chit chat for a little longer here. In the second half of the episode, we're gonna get to Nomadland, which is a new film starring Frances McDormand. It's written and directed by, I'm gonna get her name, Chloe Zhao, who also directed The Writer. But we'll be getting into all that in the second half of the episode. Matt, I feel like I barely introduced you, but you're an editor, are you not?
This is true, Dominic Mercurio. Is that how I pronounce your name?
Close enough.
Very good. My day job, what pays the bills, is editing moving pictures and for television.
Can you talk about some of the kind of shows that you edit?
It's mostly docuseries and reality TV, and I'll fill kind of the gaps between those longer show gigs with like sizzle reels and trailers that are used to sell shows. Also, mostly the docu realm. I kind of fell into it in like 2008 during the recession. Needed work after getting laid off, and I mean, I did go to film school, so I have a filmic aspiration, and I feel like I'm good at it. But
does that mean
docuseries?
Oh, sorry. I don't mean to cut you off.
No sorries allowed.
Does that mean that you kind of get to like see all the stuff that doesn't make it onto air, like with these, you know, crazy reality stars?
That's
Sure.
what I was gonna say. Have you ever seen people in the bathroom like wiping or?
You see some stuff. Most of the shows I've edited lately is true crime, so it's very much talking head driven, and the talking heads kind of drive the story, and then you use lots of B-roll and music to make it slick and exciting, create those moments, you know, like, and he said she fired a shotgun at him before, and then it goes and you add the sound effect.
So you do the sound too?
Yeah, reality editors and docu-series. I like to say docu-series because it sounds better, but I've been on definitely reality. I don't know where the line is drawn. A huge amount of it is sound and music editing. The editor has a library of music, and it's really him who's choosing all of that and editing the music down to like basically 30-second bits, because kind of the style of that show is like change the music every 30 seconds.
Right.
And then you use lots of sound effects depending on the genre of show to amp it up and create those moments of tension, kind of, because when you just see the people talking, it feels like nothing, but then you kind of find those moments where it's like, oh, this is a moment where we can change the cue, or we can make a hit or some type of sound effect there. And and I have a story producer who works with me and does kind of what I see as like harder in a way. They cut down a lot of the story and string it out with talking heads, and then I go in and make it compelling and cinematic, hopefully, and make it TV. You make the interview like feel like TV.
With editing true crime, are you ever like, just basically just solving the murder, and then you're like, you know what? I'm not going to say who it was. I'm going to edit that right out and then keep that to yourself and then just submit it to the LA Times.
Oh, I'm not sure exactly what you mean, but I mean, certainly as in like all these shows are like keep you guessing until the end kind of thing, even though it's obvious to us, maybe from the beginning, you're withholding information and choosing when to reveal it to make it compelling.
But are there ever shows where they never like solve the mystery, but you might, based on maybe some of the footage that you watched, know the true answer?
Yeah. And I mean, the show I'm on now, Accident, Suicide, or Murder, which is an Oxygen show, season 3.
Nice.
This is my 4th Oxygen show, and they have a certain style. This show involves crimes that are a lot of them are not solved in the court of law, and so but they're still fishy. Like the one I'm editing involves a drowning death and a wife who has been absolved of murder, but it's pretty much clearly her based on all the people who knew them and what she said in the lead up to it, and the fact that she was married 7 times before, which he didn't know, and comes out, that kind of stuff. Wow. It's a little schlocky, but
Accident, Suicide, or Murder. I mean, maybe
it's on the nose, folks.
Maybe we can hit you with some situations, and you could let us know if they were an accident, suicide, or murder. I mean, I'm
no expert. I just make it compelling. That's my job, to kind of dress it up, and that's where my strengths lie, I would say. I'm no detective. But if you're ever attacked by murder, be sure to scratch, folks. Get some DNA under your nails, and then they can find him even if you die.
Well, if any of our chat has been victim to an accident, suicide, or murder, write in and let us know, and perhaps he can diagnose you. Or
at least I can get you on TV if you'd like to be on TV and you have such a story. But
I like that phrase, like accident, suicide, murder. I'm just into it. It's like
I like it.
It's a good title.
Like, I feel like it's like something from like the 1950s. It'd be like accident, suicide, or murder.
Or murder.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that.
It's like
It's
like what it's about. Yeah.
Wait, so you say that you've been working mainly on true crime stuff, but did you ever work on any kind of like really lowbrow kind of shows, like about just, Real Housewives type of thing? Or
I've definitely I haven't cut Real Housewives. I work for the company that did New York Real Housewives, and so I'm very familiar with that world, because I also I got into editing, doing casting editing, which when they're trying to find people for reality shows, and I've definitely cut some casting editing for a lot of Real Housewives. I'm familiar.
But casting editing, so you're not. I imagine that on casting editing, you're not getting to see any of like the really hardcore.
No, because it's basically
it's just casting.
Interviews. You're cutting for story and character, and then trying to dress it up with pictures and whatever.
Gotcha. I'm just curious, because there was the time when Anton and I were invited to be on a reality show once, and we looked at the contract, and it was really outrageous in terms of what you're supposed to sign away, and you're basically granting permission for them to use footage. Like they're allowed to keep cameras in the bathroom, in your bedroom, like everywhere. And so you're basically like,
well,
it
depends on the show you're on. I mean,
yeah, no, I'm sure it depends on the show, but supposedly this was a standard issue contract, but this was like for a show that was going to be on VH1. Well, I don't know. I think I'm allowed to say that. I don't think I signed an NDA for it, but anyway, I was just like, they swore they were never going to use any footage of like you taking a dump or whatever. But I wonder if you as the editor has gotten to see stuff like that.
People taking dumps all the time.
Yeah, like just like being in the bathroom. No. Like, do you see people's private parts?
No, I guess I haven't edited enough reality where it's like cameras following people around. Well, I was an editor on Super Nanny the year before last. They rebooted Super Nanny. And yeah, you see the behind the scenes stuff where it's like the intensity of the household, or the intensity. The host I have a lot of respect for, Jo Frost. She's like the British nanny. And she's just like always on, always intense in a good way. I mean, she's a host, like she has a show for a reason. But you know, as the editor, you're like, okay, is this too intense here? Is she like laying into the parents? Is this, you know, like how you want to show the family, like, oh, that kind of makes me hate the dad because he said that to his kid. Let's not use that. Or maybe we should use that because then it sets up this moment. I don't remember your question. No one's going to the bathroom in front of me.
Damn it.
They generally turn their mics off, but I'm sure it happens. Yeah, people are caught on mics peeing. You like hearing people peeing?
Have you caught people farting? Like off camera?
I haven't really. I don't think I remember
like
a fart.
You're scrolling through a video and you don't see them, but you hear a just like.
There's weird noises and there's awkwardness and I mean, we're humans. We have holes in our face that emit mucus, and you know, there's weird things. But after you see it a few times, you don't giggle. You're just like, okay, moving on. I got a day job. I got to finish my work. But yes.
What's the most hardcore thing you've ever seen as an editor that didn't make it onto the show?
Gee whiz.
Yeah, like, is there anything hardcore that you can remember?
I don't know about hardcore. I mean, like emotionally, the show I was on for 3 seasons, Long Lost Family, which was on TLC, where they reunite like adoptees and people who were in foster care with their birth family, certainly had intensive emotional encounters. But and then the intent, it's not like funny. I mean, it's like you hear horrible things. It doesn't have to be funny. From people's like horrible abuse stories that
God.
don't fit the show, or it's like it's too much. Like
wow.
Like where we kind of have to. There was one story I could think of with, I mean, not to get dark, but
to get dark. Go for it. Anything.
2 sons looking for their mother who disappeared when they were like 5, and their dad was a pedophile, and we're going there. And like took them to. I don't want to go into too much detail because
but that didn't make it onto, and that didn't make it on the show.
We sugarcoat some of that. Some of those details.
That's so because to me
we kind of leave it vague as an abuse, but it depends on the network you're cutting for. If it was for Netflix or HBO, you put that stuff in, but that was for TLC, and it's like not.
But TLC is all about showing abused people. I feel
on that show, I feel like it was like a very respectful tone. We didn't want to like, and I assume the person talking, the person who suffered it, the victim, probably said, "I don't want this in the show."
Didn't want. Okay.
And so then legally we can't. And so
I see. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, editing.
But did you guys? Yeah. I mean, like you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. But like, did you have to report any of that kind of stuff that you found out about, like to the cops or anything like that? Pedophile.
With them, I mean, I think his dad had already passed away, and it's in his court. And yeah. I can tell you more details about it, but I won't just because of legal reasons. But
we want to edit it out. We need to keep the show.
Totally Tell Me is
pedophile free.
Yeah.
I got pedophile stories up the wazoo. What you want? No, I'm kidding. But
stories.
Overall, editing. I'm a creative person, and it's very creative. Even if like I've edited, lots of different shows of varying degrees of quality, perhaps, and it's always, you still get to use that creative part of your brain. So I find it fun. I find you always try to do the best you can with the footage you're given, and just try to make it something good.
Yeah.
That the network likes, because they're like, this is what we want. So you have to deliver that.
Sure.
Yeah. But hey.
By the way, for the record, people, just so you know, Matt is my best friend's husband, and we're also good friends. And so that's kind of how we know Matt. I just wanted to let you know
your
that.
best friend's
'cause
husband.
I don't think...
So my husband. We're oh.
Oh, that's nice that you think
Best
of me as your
friends
best friend.
is not, I don't even like using that term, I'm sure
I
you're
use
her
it.
best friend too. And, best, what is that? I'm not good with favorites in general, like whether it's
funny.
movies
Anton's not good with that either, but I'm all
Yeah.
about who's the best.
I
know
feel
I'm
like
the
it.
best.
I feel like that limits me, like when I'm like, oh, this is better than that, because then I
Yeah.
get set in it when it might not be, like it prevents
Better
me from
all the
evolving
time.
later, maybe. Like
You know what? True as that may be, I'm down with it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna just,
favorites.
I'm
Yeah,
sticking
no,
with
it's
it.
good. If you
I
know what
play
you love, you know what
favorites.
you love. That's a great
I know
thing.
what I love.
Like
I
my
know
wife,
I love steak.
your best friend or one of your best friends knows what she loves, as you know, and
Yes,
knows
she
what she
does.
hates.
That's why we like each other.
And I'm different, just like you and your husband. I guess opposites.
They can't
Every
attract.
couple should have someone who has favorites and someone who doesn't, frankly.
That's true. Right. It balances it out. It's
Lord.
funny because when Anton says like I don't do favorites, I'm like, so I guess you could have just married anyone then, because I guess I'm not your favorite. Whatever. fuck you then.
And then he slammed the door and
Right. He's
storm out
like-
of the house.
Like, that's not what I do.
And then slept with a woman at a bar in the bathroom. Just kidding.
Yeah, and she was like,
Sorry.
he's like, oh yeah, we can do this because I don't play favorites. So
Yeah, he's like, I don't give a shit about this woman.
he's like, I
Lord,
just told my wife I don't play favorites. So.
Did you ever have Did you have a MySpace? Did you ever toy with that top 8 business on MySpace?
Still got a MySpace, folks.
I feel like that.
I mean, it
I
logged
think we
in,
all
but
do.
yeah, we all do.
But
Right.
did you?
I don't think I've...
But did you like play with your top 8 and stuff? You know what I mean? The
Wait,
top
is
8
that like your
friends?
top 8 friends?
Yeah.
You would
Oh, yeah.
choose what was displayed in your kind of like
I
friend.
didn't. I don't think I did that.
Oh, but okay, all right. Well, I was just curious since you
I don't
play
remember
favorites.
having done that. I don't
I
remember.
think
having...
I did.
I don't think I was aware
Honestly,
that
what I'm
I don't know.
asking
I
here
don't remember that.
is where would I be in your top 8? That's basically what the question's coming to.
You'd
here.
be like in the top, 4.
3, 4, 5.
Top 4 means 4.
No,
Yeah,
you'd be in
right.
the top 4. You would
If
be in
you're-
the top.
if you're like-
I swear, you'd be in the top 4.
What about top 3?
Because I only have like 4 friends.
Okay, so
No, I'm just kidding.
I just feel like
No, I have
if
like.
you were to say,
like
"Oh,
6
you'd be in the
friends.
top 3," then that means I'm 3rd. And if you're like, "Oh, you'd be in the top 4," then that means I'm 4. You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying. No,
You're
no,
like,
that's
you'd
not
be in
what
the
it
top
means.
14.
No,
We
Dominic,
don't need
because-
to define such levels of friendship. I
Here's
mean,
the thing,
everything
I
is
have-
nebulous and changing.
It's true. No, I have like my top 5 favorite movies. You know what I mean? And like when somebody's like,
And what are
is-
they?
Is
Sorry.
Little Women
okay.
like one of your favorite movies? And I'm like, it's definitely in like the top 5.
Not the
But that
2020
doesn't-
one, which I
but-
saw with you.
No, not the
2019.
21. No, I did not like.
Which
the
I
21.
loved.
I know
Okay,
you
but
liked
anyway.
it. It's true, and we covered that for Totally Tell Me, but
Good job.
I just did not like it. What can I say? But yes, see, even though I could say, oh, Little Women is definitely in like my top 5, that doesn't mean that it's number 5. So there you go.
Okay. Okay.
Is Picnic at Hanging Rock in your top 5?
Yes, it is.
That's a film that both she and my
Darn well
wife
is.
share the love for. And I love too. Peter
We share
Weir,
a love
amazing
for it.
soundtrack
Mhm.
and atmospheric.
Amazing
greatness.
soundtrack.
It is a great
I love
movie.
it.
See, Laura, I feel like I
Absolutely love
also
it.
have a sort of like top tier of movies that at any given point when someone asks me, I just sort of like pick one of those favorites. So
Same.
at what point in your life would you say to someone, oh yeah, Dominic, my best friend? You know what I mean? Like in what situation would it take? Like, is it maybe shortly after we've filmed a music video that you'd be like, oh yeah, Dominic, my best
Dominic,
friend?
my best friend.
Shortly after you said
Maybe
yes,
after
I'll
my
make-
wife is killed in some horrible accident. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
What's it
don't
gonna
say
take?
that.
What's it gonna take?
Here's what it's gonna take. Shortly after Dominic decides that he wants to make my next music video.
Oh, Dominic, my best friend. All right, check.
No,
Oh,
no.
Noted.
I mean, for free, of course, but no, but no. I referred to you as my best friend at times.
All right, all right. Well, so I guess I was just wondering what those times were, but we don't have to.
Am
get
I
into it.
your
We don't
best?
have
Am
to
I
get
one of your best friends?
into it. Top 4, yeah, top 4.
Not knowing your relationship well, from what I gathered from my distant perspective, was that Dominic was one of your closest friends.
He is.
Yeah. As is Laura, top 4,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Let me put it this way. You're my
Yeah, she's not
favorite-
going lower than that until.
You're my favorite partner that I've worked with on a podcast.
As you are.
Well, tonight that changes with the arrival of Matthew Mangs. No,
but I mean, like, you're a guest on the show, which is lovely. But Dominic is like my partner in this podcast, and this is also the only podcast I've ever done. So
Right.
I get it.
Well, you've done your brother's
joke.
podcast. You've done your brother's podcast, though.
No, but like, I'm not on that. That's not my project.
Okay. Well, I was just wondering if I rank higher than your brother. That's all I was wondering.
I don't count my brother. I count my brother as my brother is definitely a best friend, but he's also my brother, so it's like different.
Right. Yeah, it's different. It's a different category. Different.
But I mean, he is definitely like a best friend. You know, there's no doubt.
Has he been on the show a lot?
He's been on a few times.
Yeah, a few
I
times,
mean, he was on it fairly recently.
Do you like him, Dominic?
Oh, absolutely not. No. It's a complete nightmare every time he's on.
Do you like him? Let's get an honest answer here.
Yeah.
Now's
the night.
I'd say he's top 27. He's top
bad.
27.
You have 27 friends? Oh my God, you're so popular.
At least, I mean, couldn't even get into it all. I mean,
wow.
Anyways, Laura, what's been going on with you before we get into this movie?
Okay, I have a few things I wanted to talk about. One is that, oh dear, sorry, I have to bring up. Okay, well, what's up with you actually, real quick, because I'm like looking at I need to bring up the list real quick. Oh no, I got it.
Oh, okay.
I was about to ask Dominic a question.
Oh, here it is. Yeah.
It's not allowed.
Go ahead, ask him a question.
Back to your last name, Mercurio. Is that Italian?
It is Italian, yeah. Yeah.
Does it relate at all to mercurial, like volatile, hot-tempered?
Mercurial.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm a hot-tempered, complete asshole. If you set me off, I mean, there will be hell to pay. I am seconds away from throwing this glass.
It doesn't mean that's how you are. We're just wondering if your name is related to the word mercurial.
It's hidden within you, though, the mercury.
Right. It's actually, I believe it's Italian for Mercury, like the planet Mercury.
Wow, that's interesting. Mercury is the planet that governs communication.
Oh, well, look at
in
that.
the astrological realm.
In the astrological realm. Yes.
And here we are communicating.
So anyway, I found my topic, so we can talk about me.
Yeah,
so I was
talking.
I was talking to my brother about we were talking about movies, and then we were talking about like favorite movie types and stuff, and I was saying how I really like period piece dramas, and specifically lately, I recently watched a fun movie that was a period piece drama about geishas, and I like Japanese historical like dramas, and same thing with Chinese historical dramas, because I love like all the costumes and art direction and stuff, especially when they're like pre-1940 or whatever. But anyway, he was like, so do you like oh yeah, he was talking about we were talking about Promising Young Woman, and he was giving me his full diagnostic on the movie and his like opinion on it or whatever, and we were talking about the villains in that movie and how
this is a recent film. I'm sorry, I'm not plugged in.
It's a recent film. It's a recent film, but he felt that like all of the like kind of villainous people in the movie were very one-dimensional, and like that made it very kind of, you know, not compelling as a driving character.
What about
as screenwriting guru Robert McKee says, if you don't feel your story is compelling enough, increase the forces of antagonism. But I guess that doesn't fully relate. But yeah, making a fully fleshed villain always makes the story better.
And they weren't like, they were just like the bad guy. Like, I mean, it's not like a horror movie or anything.
The sources of antagonism for the protagonist.
Yes. But I think that he felt that they were all very one-dimensional, and I kind of agreed with him. And then he was like, so what do you think about zombies or whatever? And I was like, hate them.
Who wants to get bitten by a zombie? No one likes zombies. No, I know what you mean.
Zombies just have nothing to offer. They're just like, they don't even talk. They're just like, oh, you know what I mean? Like they just.
Well, it depends on there's different zombies. There's fast zombies. There's slow zombies. There's.
But then they never like talk, and they're all just dead, like undead people.
Well, they talk in
personalities.
Day of the Dead, the 80s Romero one, they say brains. So they tie down a zombie on a table and keep saying
so they
brains.
don't like speak, and they don't have sentences. And then I was like, but vampires on the other hand, I can get into because they're like hot and they say stuff. Yeah. And they have personalities and stuff. And then we were just like talking about different scary things and trying to decide if we like them. So Here's what I like and what I don't like. I don't like zombies. I do not like
Can I?
like deep sea creatures really, because there's just like nothing to them.
Nothing to them. What do you mean? Like, are you
They
saying in
don't
a
really
film
talk.
or? Oh, they don't talk
Just
as
the
a
idea
villain,
of it.
as a source of
As
danger.
yeah.
So you're negating Jaws.
I mean, Jaws is like fun as a movie, but I'm not like that into. I mean, you know what? I like a shark because it's kind of a fun. I like sea creatures in that way of. I mean, in more of an exploratory way. But like as a character, I really couldn't care less. I
Right.
really like vampires. I like witches. I like the devil, and I like demons. But I pretty much.
So you like the
hate
ones
everything
that
else.
have elements that are,
Complex
that complex,
characters.
but that people might enjoy, like immortality or
Yeah, well,
things
definitely.
like that.
Well, it's not just immortality. Like, I don't think a witch is necessarily defined by immortality, but I think that
But they are
those.
stronger than normal humans.
But then we were talking about other like specific types of villains, like for example, Freddy Krueger, and he's a good scary guy because he's got a personality and he's got something to say. You know what I mean? Whereas Jason and Michael Myers, they may as well be zombies because they don't even talk.
Right. Yeah. I agree with that. Freddy Krueger perhaps is more entertaining and compelling. Maybe less
Highly.
scary because he does talk, though. Is
Right,
he less
but he's
scary?
Yeah.
definitely like more fun to watch
Right.
because
I
it's
think
also
zombies
like
are way less scary than something like
Yeah.
like
Like
Jason
Satan?
because or
Jason.
Michael Myers, because I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like Michael Myers is like this force of a person.
Mm-hmm.
Like he still takes a humanoid form like zombies, but he's just like a force, whereas zombies are kind of in general weak and dumb. You know, like
Dumb and
they're
weak. They're like
easy to
minions.
outsmart on their own. They're only intimidating in
dumb.
hordes or whatever, you know?
Yeah, that's why I don't understand like how can people be into like Walking Dead and stuff like that, because it's just like
Well, people like apocalypse
so weird.
situations because you could put yourself in that situation and imagine yourself as a survivor. Also, I
guess,
want
but
to.
it's just like
Yeah.
about I feel like there's like the zombies are such a central thing to those kinds of shows that it's like, oh my god, get me out of here.
I guess zombies, it's less personal with Jason and those other ones you
Right,
mentioned.
it's more
they
it's a
have
little more
you
personal.
like in their sights, and so it's like they're coming after you. The zombies just like, oh look, meat, go.
Right, exactly.
I'm frankly, I think zombies are an amazing like creation.
Oh,
Thanks
okay.
to George Romero for cinema, for film, TV. However, it's just been overdone, and I'm sick of it, and I never seek out zombie stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's my issue with zombies. It's just been overdone. Whenever I hear, I'm surprised. Like 10 years ago, I was like, another zombie thing, and now I'm still like, another zombie thing. But I guess it allows.
But see, I wouldn't get sick of a vampire thing though. In that's been going on for
I think
decades
you
upon
would.
decades.
What if it was
I am
as-
skeptical
No,
of vampire things unless it has some new angle.
No, I mean
Personally,
like if it's a well done of course there's like cheesy vampire shows like that show on HBO that I forget what it's called, but
True Blood.
True Blood, yeah, not
Mhm.
First Blood, not Rambo. No, but like when like a vampire by nature though, I just think is a more compelling character because they are seductive, you know what I mean, and they're immortal. They're also like eternally youthful. They're beautiful.
Mhm.
They're typically supposed to be really beautiful.
So you're a
And-
very visual person, or before you were auditory, now you're visual. But
no, I like.
So you
I
like beauty,
enjoy
you
love.
like. So you probably love all the greasy people in Nomadland. But anyway, we'll get there soon.
Oh, we'll talk about that. I guess we'll get there. But yeah, Dominic, do you like zombies or no?
I mean, I agree with you, Matt. Like, I feel like they're pretty overdone, but I'm not opposed to if a zombie is part of a story, it's not like an instant no from me. It's more just like,
Oh my
it's
god.
really gotta. Well, I feel like I'm more into the virus infection kind of zombie
Pandemic
than
element.
rather than like the undead zombie. You know what I mean? Like, because I still feel like you'd probably call those zombies.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking. I guess Walking Dead is Walking Dead. I can't remember
yeah.
actually.
Or
Is
Night of
Walking
the
Dead a
Living Dead?
virus thing or is it an undead thing?
undead.
It's a I mean,
Or, I don't know.
shoot. I loved.
Like,
Yeah, I
okay,
don't
there's like this video game series. There's this video game series called The Last of Us, and in
Yes.
that it's a virus, and it's not like they have died and then they came back to life. It's more like, you know, if COVID-19 really got out of control and was like causing some sort of, you know, in that game it's like a fungal thing that overtakes your body. And that's like a far more compelling thing to me because then I'm like, okay, I can kind of like get behind this. And plus, that story is completely not about them anyways. It's really like about the people, and
that's the allure of Walking Dead, I think.
That is the
right?
lure of Walking Dead, but I totally agree that Walking Dead is like it gets so boring.
Yeah,
it never was.
I saw the first 2.5 seasons. My wife doesn't typically like gory stuff, but we enjoyed it. But then it just felt like, okay, we've been here already and we've seen enough. Like, it feels like it's not going to surprise us that much.
It's gory for,
I don't know.
It's gory for no reason sometimes too. It just seems like it's kind of for shock value. And
I feel like the zombie genre now, it's like you expect that. Like, okay, we need some horrific.
Yeah, like they're.
They eat flesh. So. But yeah, Walking Dead. Yeah,
I tried getting.
Pregnant wife of Rick, the main character in season 2, was killed. That was pretty freaking intense. I don't know if you recall. He walked in where she was hiding, and she was gone except for like a pool of blood. And in the corner was a zombie with his belly swollen and just like, because he had eaten so much. So that stuck with me.
Eaten so much baby.
So much pregnant.
He's like, now I'm pregnant.
Yeah, he has to deliver, and then Rick had to deliver the baby from a zombie.
Oh my god. Oh wait.
No, certainly not. Certainly not.
I wouldn't put it past the show, though, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you never know.
Wait, can I tell you one other thing though? That's kind of an interesting thing.
Might have been season 3. I'm not sure, but go on.
That I was gonna bring up as a topic. Guess what I got into recently? Started doing.
What?
Transcendental meditation.
Okay.
Dang, I could talk about that.
Really?
But
Have you done it?
I got my mantra when I was 13.
You did? Wow.
Yeah, my dad is really into TM, as those in the know. So meditation has always been in the background of my life since I was like 12 or 13.
Do you do it now?
I try to now and then. It's been a while. I have my phases. I'm not convinced. My thing with TM, which David Lynch is a big proponent of in the subject of film, but my thing with TM is like, it doesn't matter what your mantra is, or your mantra could even be your breath. TM, you have to pay them money to receive your mantra. And if you want your mantra upgraded, you pay them more money and they make it longer. My dad's really into that. Yeah. And he's like, oh, I got a few more. I'm probably not giving the best represent. The point is, yes, I support it and I support meditation and it's healthy. TM specifically isn't necessarily, I'm not on board in terms of the paying and in terms of the magical mantras that are special where I think you can just listen to your breath or something repetitive to achieve the same effect. I'll take my comment off the air.
Wait, did you have to pay? Did you pay to get your mantra?
I mean, my dad did. He was into TM for a while and he really wanted me and my sister, she was like 16, I was like 12, to do it. So we went to some guy's house who was an official TM teacher a few times, and he taught us how to meditate and gave us our mantras in a special ceremony where he like lit stuff on fire. I mean, he lit candles. I don't know. It's something. Yeah, I think meditation is quite amazing.
See, I've always had a hard time with other kinds of meditation because what I like about this is that like the very simplistic approach to it and like the attitude of you're not trying to control anything or stop your mind from going anywhere or stop or focusing on your breath. Like the thing that I've had with other meditations before that I found difficult was having to just sit there and focus on your breathing and like try to deep breathe where that just makes me feel inhibited and like it's a chore because I have to achieve a certain goal in the state of meditation. Whereas, I don't know, I guess the whole way that I've been presented with it so far has been like, it doesn't matter what your mind, where your mind goes or how you're breathing. You're not trying to control anything at all. You're just doing the mantra and like sitting and I don't know. So this is like day 2 for me and I'm really liking it. I think it's really
good.
Cool. I don't know. I feel like it is like diving into the ocean and being.
I think it's like whatever your tool is to dive into the ocean, whether it's
whatever works for anyone. I mean,
exactly.
For me, this is helpful for me because I haven't been able to get there with other types of meditation myself. But I mean, other things I've had experiences, no doubt. But like in terms of a daily meditation, this is working. It's really cool.
Day
and
2, she's reaching nirvana.
And I'm excited to see like where this goes. And I just
Yeah,
thought,
good.
Dominic, you'd be more interested because I thought you were all like enticed by it because of David Lynch or whatever.
I am interested. Yeah,
and I was
no,
too.
I saw him do a talk in San Francisco, maybe like 2 years ago. I mean, granted, it wasn't just about transcendental meditation.
This is like the most fascinating subject yet, but I have to use the bathroom, and I don't know if I need to vocalize that, but I shall excuse myself.
Yeah,
Please
go
continue.
Ahead. Go ahead.
It's all
Sure.
good. Yeah, so he talked about a bunch of stuff. I mean, he was kind of talking about his film life, of course, but like as any, I think, talk with David Lynch, it kind of got to transcendental meditation. And he was taking questions from the audience there in San Francisco. And yeah, it sounds totally fascinating. I mean, I agree with Matt that like, I think whatever meditation kind of works best for you, I mean, totally go for it. I've never tried transcendental meditation. I mean, granted, I guess the monetary end of it kind of turns me off, but I mean, I love how it sounds. I mean,
right. No,
see,
I was turned off by like how expensive, like when I first heard about, heard about it through David Lynch, really, it was like, it's a really awesome tool or technique, but it's really expensive to get the mantra and all this stuff. And it was like $1,000 or something, or at least minimum.
Yeah.
But that is not the case here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I found out there's like basically a transcendental meditation organization that's like nonprofit, and I mean you do pay a little bit, but it's like not, to me it's very reasonable. It's like you have less, it's like taking lessons. Like, I mean, I charge money to give lessons, and like that seems to be totally acceptable by societal standards. And I feel like if somebody's teaching you a technique, whether it be meditation or anything, they deserve to get paid a little bit, you know what I mean? And to me, the amount that it's costing is very, very reasonable. So I'm just like, this seems totally fine. Like, I'm totally down, you know what I mean, for this. And I don't think it's about, no, I'm not, actually should have asked this. So Emily Jane White, my good friend, is also doing it too.
Yes, I know
And,
Emily. My good friend Emily.
For those who don't know. But we're both taking it from the same group, like organization or whatever, and we're both enrolled in the same course. And even though it's like it starts off one-on-one with your instructor, but I was asking her, I was like, I wonder if like, do you ever change your mantra over time, or did they ever like try to give you a different mantra, or is the one that you're given in the beginning like for life? And then she said she thinks that it's for life, which I was glad to hear, because
I believe it is.
Oh, because you said that you can upgrade your mantra, which that
it'll
seem shady.
Your mantra will still be the base. I think they add on some elements to the word. That's what my dad put it. I really can't speak to it, and but he said he got some more syllables. He's like, now I'm really hitting deep, folks. I upgraded.
Well, like, see, I'm not the way that mine. I was just telling Dominic, the way it's working for me is not like you don't like pay for the mantra. I'm just paying for somebody to give me lessons for like 4 times. You know
I support
what I mean?
that.
So
I don't mean to make it sound like it's
reasonable.
some Scientology racket. It's not.
I understand the mentality of that, because when I first heard about it, the way it was presented, just from the information I had gotten peripherally, like through David Lynch and whatever, was that it costs like thousands of dollars to know about how to use the techniques and stuff like that, or whatever, to get the mantra. But that's not even the case through the organization. It's the organization that I'm learning through right now is like a nonprofit, and it's like really like not that expensive at all. I mean, it's not even, it's like if I charge a certain amount for a music lesson, like that would be more expensive than how much this is costing.
Sure.
And I feel like it's somebody's time that they're spending with you. So why not? I feel like they deserve to get paid for something. I don't know. I just think it's totally.
Sure, I see that. Yeah.
Like, I don't see it as like it doesn't seem like a scam.
I just really had to pee. Now I feel much more calm about TM now that I've peed.
We'll see how it all goes. But it seems like it's like, I don't know. It's interesting to consider the fact that I'm doing this and sort of like engaged in practicing lucid dreaming, or like. And so I don't know. It's interesting because it does seem like it's had a little bit of an effect on my dreams over the last couple nights in terms of the patterns that have changed. I don't know. Like over the last.
I don't see why it wouldn't. I mean, you're intentionally trying to change the way
your
you
consciousness
think in that
working,
moment.
right?
So yeah.
Well, I guess lucid dreams are basically proof that you can affect your dreams by the conscious things that you do in your waking life, in your, awake state. So it's like, it's interesting, but it's interesting to see how this would affect that, because you're kind of going into like a subconscious state when you do it. I don't know. It's just really, I don't know. It's kind of a weird kind of thing, but I'm excited.
You should hit up David Lynch, see if he'll, bring you on his next TM tour.
Hey man.
Hey, man. Spokeswoman for
him. Hit him up. Yeah. What's anything new with you, Dominic?
Well, I think we should get to this movie. We're about at 8 p.m. here, and I think it's about time to talk Nomadland.
Okay. All right.
So Nomadland is it's going to be the topic of the day. Hold on, let me pull up the old poster here. So Nomadland, it is technically a 2020 film in the sense that it came out for, I believe, just like 1 week in December. But I don't know. I'm more inclined to call it a 2021 film just because that's when it's now reached Hulu and people can much more readily see it. And it's directed by Chloe Zhao, who also directed a couple other films, but I would say most notably her last film, which was The Rider. Did any of you happen to see that? It's
about a bull rider.
Yes.
It's about a bull rider.
Yeah. Who, gets.
I read some reviews. Okay, sorry. I don't know the story, but I know she makes respected, realistic movies about people in subsets of culture you might not always be familiar with. I think one is about like a Native American brothers or something. That's all I know. Yeah.
The Rider is about a bull rider, or maybe it's horse rider. I don't know. It's actually been a while since I've seen it.
Sorry about that.
Who gets in an accident and then he's paralyzed, and a lot of the people that she cast are just like playing themselves more or less. Like I think that the brother in the movie was actually a brother of someone who that happened to, or like some of that. It was like more or less she just was casting real people. Like it was almost all non-actors, or potentially all non-actors.
Wait, in Rider?
In The Rider, yeah, but also this movie.
I looked up about this movie too.
She just does that. Like,
well, it definitely had that look.
Yeah. So again, she's back with Nomadland, which is getting tons of critical acclaim. This stars Frances McDormand, who's pretty much she really is the only actor in the movie. Oh yeah, and David Strathairn.
Good Night and Good Luck.
Yeah.
I just know him from Good Night and Good Luck, and he's in lots of stuff. He's like highly respected indie-ish character actor.
Yeah. So yeah, you can find it on Hulu if you haven't seen it. But if you have seen it, then you already know all of this. Really, we're gonna talk with no spoilers at first. So if you haven't seen the movie, feel free to keep on watching. We're not gonna discuss the story of the movie. We're just gonna kind of talk about our first impressions of what we thought, and then we'll kind of like dig into the specifics, like scenes and ultimately what happens in the movie a little later, and we'll put up a spoiler warning when we do that. So for now, we're just going to talk about what we generally thought of the movie, and we like to start with the guest here. So Matt, what did you think of Nomadland?
Well, I watched it with my wife last night. We started a little late. We were tired. Upon finishing the film, we realized it was daylight savings, lost an hour. But anyway, I thought it was really good and great. And it was like a special small film. It was one of those films. I feel like it's hard to approach a film when it starts getting all this praise. Like if I came across it on the film festival circuit, I'd be like, ooh, this is special and intimate and about these people that I haven't really thought about or known about. And so what's my point? I really liked it. It was very effective.
If you saw it in a film festival and hadn't heard of it, you would have been like all over it, but maybe no.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard to shut out the Oscar buzz because then you see it as almost like trying to be what people are telling you it is when it's not. Mm-hmm. It's not that, and you have to kind of separate it from that to take it for what it is. And it's such a small, delicate. I like movies like that. Special film and sad. It was mostly had a sad feeling, and was sad because all the characters are kind of united in their grief, and they're all kind of removing themselves from society, but then finding, I guess, their own society of sorts, where they're not as rooted or don't have to be as rooted and don't want to be as rooted. I don't know.
Yeah.
3.7 out of 4.
Laura, what did you think?
Yeah, I don't know. It was like whatever. It's fine. I guess Frances McDormand. It's like I liked her in Fargo. You know what I mean? And she was good, but then I feel like it's like when she's in stuff now, it just I feel like expected that it's gonna be this great movie. You know what I mean? Or there is this kind of buzz about it that makes you feel like
Well, you've
it's
seen her in a
trying
lot.
to-
You're like, oh, she's acting. Look at her
right,
act.
like exactly.
Um,
It's like she's an actor. She's
Yeah.
on the screen, and it's like even if she's trying to be downplayed or subtle, there's this feeling of like pomp about it to me, or there's some kind of ulterior thing going on that I feel like it's there, but maybe it's not, but maybe it's I don't know, a combination of things. And it's a little bit of a turn off, but at the same time, that's fine.
So you had trouble maybe because of her history as an actress and what you associate with her. Like, had it been an unknown name, you might have been more swept up in it.
Nah, I don't know. It's like I mean, look, I respect the subject and all, but it's like old people and I don't know. I like kids.
That's true. There were very few children. Children
I
were in
like
the
movies-
places of of stationary stability in the film, where there weren't children out in the road.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, no, it's cool. It's just funny. This is another thing I was talking about with my brother is like my younger brother is really into the show MASH right now, and I'm just like that.
The original MASH.
Yes, and I'm like
That's
that
funny.
looks like the most boring thing I've ever witnessed in my days of living on this planet Earth, because it would always come on like after Family Ties when I was a kid, and it just seemed so boring. It was like these people in a helicopter wearing like camouflage gear, and it was all grown-ups, and I'm just like, who cares about this? He's like, you don't even know. He's like, also you need to start watching Cheers and you need to watch Frasier, and I'm like, all old people.
Knowing your brothers,
Well,
yes,
probably-
I would be surprised if they didn't love Frasier. There's something about Frasier where I feel like it would.
I'm
identify
sure
with
it's
them.
good, but I'm just like, I don't know. I realize I like shows where there's young girls.
Like the show
Preferably-
Girls.
Yeah, preferably like I do like the showgirls, but especially if it's like a period piece, Edwardian or Victorian drama where they're wearing white dresses and they're attending an all-girls school. That's my typical setting and backdrop. No, but I just
Is there a
also
show
really
that
like,
meets that criteria?
what?
Is there a show
there a
that meets
show?
that criteria of girls in an all-girls school period piece?
They are what I mean. There was actually a new version. They made Amazon made a show of Picnic at Hanging Rock, and
Oh, I heard about it. Yeah.
absolutely horrible.
Oh,
but,
no.
I won't get into it. Point being,
Tara Hummel says, "Ugh, I love MASH." So we
There
got
you go.
some
Thank you,
MASH
Tara.
lovers up in here.
I've only seen the
mean,
Altman
look.
film. I have not seen the series. But yes, I agree. When I was young, it looked boring. But the Altman film is great.
oh really? Like
Yeah,
I'm sure
certainly.
it's good if you get into it, but I don't know. I realize that I like coming of age stuff in general. Like almost all the stuff that I really gravitate towards has some element of coming of age in it, whether it's Game of Thrones or, I mean, like I'm watching this show right now called The White Princess, which some people would probably be bored to death by, but it's like kind of about
Sounds
Henry
like
the
it's for
Seventh.
you.
And anyway, point being, I like when there is some part of the show or movie where that is happening. But it doesn't have to. That's not like what I'm exclusively about. I don't have to. It's not an absolute like requirement. But this movie is just kind of, it is what it is. It's fine. Did you like it? What do you think, Dominic?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm more or less with you guys. I felt like it was beautiful, like beautifully shot. I love the look of it. I love the
Yeah, I feel
color
like if I
palette.
saw it on the big screen, other than my small monitor, we don't have a big TV. I would have like some of those. Sorry to interrupt. Wide shots of the landscape in her van. I'd be like, ooh, I would have been swept up maybe even more in the theater.
The landscape stuff was some of my favorites. Like I really did love watching all those beautiful sunset moments and just kind of like her in the desert, just kind of like out in the wilderness,
Walking through without a cut, where she's kind of like waving to the crowd, and yeah, it's like the perfect moment. The lighting is really beautiful.
So from a visual standpoint, love it. From even the concept, I'm into. Like I like the idea of following, these sort of nomads through their daily life, and you just kind of get a sense of what it might be like to just kind of be living out of your car and and just kind of barely getting by. And honestly, when it started, I was like, all right, I think I'm gonna be like really vibing with this movie. This seems like I'm kind of interested in these people, and I want to know what's up. But then as
You're
it
like,
went
ooh,
on,
Amazon. I order Amazon packages. Just kidding.
oh yeah, and then
He works at Amazon, but anyway.
yeah. In the beginning, it's in the beginning,
right.
you find out that she works at Amazon to kind of make her money. I mean, I guess in a non-spoiler setup, it's about this town, or the film really starts with a card that talks about this town in Nevada where a coal plant was shut down, and then basically the town, more or less, the implications are that the whole town had to vacate and become nomads. And Frances McDormand.
It wasn't coal though, but go on.
Oh, it wasn't coal.
Was it like drywall or something? Like, I don't remember the term they used, but it was something for construction. Go on.
You're right.
Yeah.
Anyway, but she, Frances McDormand, plays a nomad who is kind of like just living out of her car, and she works at Amazon to kind of make ends meet. But then her term is kind of up at Amazon, so then she's like really just kind of on her own, and then life ensues really. And she's kind of encountering many people who are living this life as well, so you're kind of getting many different stories. Sheetrock, Josh just commented, and that's
Sheetrock.
right.
Thank you. I said drywall. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I just felt like the movie kind of went on, and I felt like the least interesting part was Frances McDormand. Like, I could not believe her in this role, and I think that she's like a pretty good actress too. It's just like
Pretty good. She's amazing.
Yeah.
She is a great actress. I mean, she is a very good actress. There's no doubt.
There's something about.
But in this, it was a lot about the role required her to respond to people non-verbally a lot, and so she was listening to people and kind of sitting there and shitting in a bucket.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't get kind of over just Frances McDormand being Frances McDormand and being in a Frances McDormand Oscar-nominated movie. Like
she has an acting style. Once again, she's amazing. But she does this thing I realized where she'll like give you kind of a stare, and then like she has this like she'll jerkily move. She'll be like, I'm gonna do this now. Anyway, she'll like stop and be like,
Her reactions
jerkily move. Anyway, that's kind of her style.
I don't know. I don't know about some of it, but I mean,
she's great. She's a great jerkily mover.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, yeah, I was just kind of, I felt like it was long on the tooth, and I felt like, I wanted to learn more about the people that she was around than her herself, to be honest. And it kind of makes sense now, because I was reading up about it after the fact, that again, she cast non-actors, and even though there was obviously some moments that the non-actors kind of had to like act, and then that kind of felt weird too, I felt like when they were just given the opportunity to maybe just actually tell their story, which it seems like there's moments in this movie where the director likely just asked them like, hey, can you just kind of like basically just say what happened to you, Those moments I found the most compelling in the movie, to kind of like get these little,
and when you kind of learn their wound, like what brought them out here, and they all had, it was always grieving. My wife made an interesting point while we were watching. She's like, this is like the opposite of Hoarders. In Hoarders, they had something terrible happen, and now they collect all this stuff. In this, they had something terrible happen, now they got rid of all their stuff. They're both kind of extreme responses to your world being shattered by the death of a loved one.
But maybe they also had no choice but to get rid of all their stuff. I was gonna say, it's kind of funny that like that she wanted to cast all these non-actors in the movie, and then like the one main character is like one of the most famous actors of all time, like notoriously an actor, What I mean?
But she doesn't have any plastic surgery, so she looks authentic, and I support that.
No, she does have an earthy vibe about her.
Yeah.
I also just wanted to respond to like your comments about, or both of your guys' appreciation for cinematography. That's actually one thing I'm like a little disappointed by, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Because not the cinematography, but like when I saw their preview for the movie, the one thing that looked really fun about it was all the landscape stuff, and the outdoors aspects of the visuals. And I was like, oh, I could get into going around the world or traveling around with some nomads, but I feel like they didn't go to that many landscapes that were that different. Like the one cool place was that really mountainy place that had like the cool rocks, and then everything else was just like open desert. And I'm like, come on, guys, I thought we were gonna visit some like different landscapes here. I thought she was gonna be going to all these different kinds of terrains, but it was really only like one terrain. So I was a little let down by that, to be
Wait,
quite
I mean,
frank.
that's not true though. I mean, she goes to multiple different states.
But they don't look that different.
It's like
from
kind
each
of the
other.
Southwesty. I understand, but that's
Yeah,
just
it's
the
like the
story.
Southwest. I mean, she does go
What,
to.
you wanted,
I think
like-
she goes-
You wanted like New
Those-
Zealand, like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I
They're
want
going
a
to,
New
like,
Zealand. I
misty
want, like, an
mountains
England-
and like Hobbiton.
I want the full spectrum. Like I wanted to see some East Coastery, like, you know, freaking Woodstock and up in here and shit. You know what I mean? But like she went to California, yes, but I live in California. I do not necessarily need to see that on screen. Like I love it, but I mean whatever.
But that mixes it up,
I
though, is
wanna
what I'm
see-
saying.
It didn't really mix it up. It basically was like she was in California where I live, and then she was in the desert where I go every time we go on tour. So it's like I've already seen these places. I want to see some new shit. Like it
Okay.
would have been cool if she went to the Grand Canyon even, because she was like in the desert.
I feel like
but
that
she
would
didn't go
if
the
she went to
places I
like
haven't seen.
familiar sites, that would have
Yeah.
felt a little I don't know, like
Not
oh
familiar. No, like the
Yeah.
parts of the Grand Canyon that you don't see, like the parts where there's like that river or whatever. Like
Yeah,
I've
it's-
seen it in postcards and stuff.
But
I
it's
wanna
not like
see
she's
crazy stuff.
it's not like she's sightseeing. You know?
Well, I
She's-
thought
Right.
that's what it was gonna be like. I didn't know it was gonna be about these people who like lost their homes in the recession. I thought it was gonna be about nomads who were by choice trying to travel around the country and see the sights.
So you want
And
rich
that's what I was
Nomadland.
excited about. Yeah,
Right.
or whatever. No, it doesn't have to be. I don't feel like it would be about rich people. It would just be about people who choose to live a nomadic lifestyle because they
Right.
want to see the sights.
By
Well,
choice,
she had to
not
stay-
by fate.
yeah. She had to stay in the warm climate. And then she was also drawn.
She
She
could've
kind of went
gone
from
to-
job to job, right? She like seasonal jobs, so she was.
She
drawn
could have gone to
those.
Arches. She could have gone to Grand Canyon. She could have gone to Zion. She could have gone. I feel like there were plenty of places she could have gone to that would have been really cool that I've never been to before, but none of that really happened except for that one little place that did seem cool, but it was only really in one scene.
With the
And
cool
honestly,
rocks
like-
and stuff that you
Yeah,
going
yeah,
through?
yes,
that was
no,
awesome.
That was amazing.
It was cool, but I felt that we didn't even get to see that much of that.
I mean, I would have loved to have seen more, but I was down
As would
with
I.
what we saw.
As would I. As would I.
And I loved,
so-
I don't know. Go ahead.
Okay, one last thing. I just want to comment on some of the comments that I'm seeing from Facebook. My little brother Nikki chimed in and was like, MASH is definitely a top 10 show of all time. And Max's response was, shows with adults are the best. Okay, you guys are basically old people trapped in 10-year-old bodies, so whatever. Carry on.
10-year-old bodies.
Which
Well,
they pride
I-
themselves on.
I don't know about
no,
They
10.
have youthful
I'm
qualities,
kidding.
and
I'm
it's a
kidding.
good
But
youthful
I love my
quality.
brothers. I love my brothers, and
Um,
they're nice.
They're lovely people. I see them at the annual Weinbach Christmas gatherings. And,
Exactly. The annual.
yes.
Oh, someone said LOL boring. What's boring? I don't Tara Hummel said
It's
that.
when-
Was she referring to like the
when you were
girls
talking about it-
in white dresses in all girls schools in circa
No, that came up when
1810?
you were talking about Nomadland. You said boring, like you said boring about something. You called something boring, and then she was saying lol to you calling it boring.
okay.
So
what that was.
I do want to get to spoilers, which are really like I don't feel like there's gonna be too much to spoil in this movie, but if you
She
do,
shit in a bucket.
Uh,
She shit in a bucket. Sorry, no, but
Right.
that scene actually, my wife and I were like, she played the flute and then she shat in a bucket in the same shot.
Well, wait.
And-
Just
Sorry.
we're gonna get. That'll be the first
We'll get there,
spoiler
we'll
scene
get
that we
there.
to. But yeah, if you haven't seen Nomadland and you don't want to know any scenes that happen, now would be the time to tune out because we'll be talking about anything that happens in the movie, from the story to specifics that happens in certain scenes.
Not that it's the film that
No,
it's not a spoil. It won't ruin it.
I
to
don't
know
think it's
that
spoiler heavy, but I
her
personally,
husband died in 9/11 because he was one of the terrorists. That's what happened.
That's not true.
No, it's not true.
Anyways, I'm gonna put up the spoiler warning now. So if you do not wish to know any more, please tune out. But here we go. We can now talk about Frances McDormand shitting in a bucket. So who wants to start? Was it runny? Was it chunky? What did she
I didn't
have?
actually-
Oh God.
that
go on,
scene I
Lorna.
felt was weird because I was like, why did they feel the need to even show that just now? It like didn't seem to have a point.
Me and
Well,
Carl, my
nothing-
wife, did talk about that scene. And I think the point is like,
Like you
Words
can go to the
escape me.
bathroom on a trailer. Like,
Just
built
the
in
reality of her existence. You had to have one
Yeah.
shit in the bucket moment because it's like, where does she go to the bathroom? It'd be weird if the whole movie she never went to the bathroom. I don't know. It's like, this is
Yeah.
the reality. You have a bucket and you have to poop
But
in
it was funny that it was like she was having a conversation with her friend before outside, and she's like, or no, she
After.
was outside, and then she suddenly gets like a rumble in the Bronx, and she's like,
No,
So
no,
she
she was
was-
inside
that was
playing
all
the flute
inside.
and she got a
Yeah.
rumble in the Bronx. The flute brought it out. And flute is a
yeah.
known
But it was funny that she like
way
suddenly,
of
it
relief
seemed
in your
like-
bowels.
Right, it seemed like she got like a diarrhea attack or something, and it was
Yeah.
like,
It was a
okay,
little weird how it was handled. She's
Why
like,
do
ooh.
we need to know? Like, why did they put that?
But Laura,
It seemed like it
why
was
are
gonna be
any of the
important.
scenes in this film in the movie
No,
like they're all
because-
just kind of like little vignettes of life? They're not like they really. They
It's
don't
just-
really
yeah,
like
it's her
progress the story
existence.
much, you know.
No, I mean, no, I think there is a point to a lot of the different
Some,
scenes.
I would say like less than half the scenes had a point in the actual plot.
Sure,
don't-
yeah,
it's not-
it wasn't
I'm
a
not-
story-driven movie as much as a character-driven.
I know.
movie.
I'm not saying it's not about being plot driven or anything. It just seems like it just seemed like it was a very random thing. Whereas not everything seemed to be randomly put in there. Like it was slice of life.
Mhm.
There's no doubt. You know, and she's having conversations, whatever. But just to have this moment to show her like getting a diarrhea attack, why didn't it just show her masturbating? I don't know. I mean, like it could have shown any random thing.
Mm.
To me,
Sure.
that just seemed
I'm like, they didn't have
why-
her masturbating. Shit.
like the director obviously or the writer was like, we need to have a scene where she actually gets a diarrhea attack and she goes to the bathroom on
she
a
just had to
bucket.
poop.
Like
She
it
didn't-
was like we really want to show what life was like. Like
exactly. I think it's that
but it's
simple.
like, I don't feel like that really paints the picture because it's like
Oh, I
I mean
think
I
it
don't feel
does.
like no, but it's like obviously people are going to the bathroom in their trailers. Like duh. I mean to me it's not giving an insight into her life. You know what I mean? I don't think that's. It
What's
just
funny
seemed-
is
it was just it seemed like it was trying to be something
Mhm.
that it was like but it was gratuitous. You know, and I'm all for going poo. Like, I mean,
yeah, if
I'm
you
all
feel it,
for
go. Don't hold
someone
it.
go.
Just go.
I'm happy to like see someone go to the bathroom, but it's like to me it just seemed pointless. You know what I mean?
You know what I think that scene's in there for? It's for when this film shows its little clip at the Oscars for Best Picture, and it goes
it's like
Frances
her on-
McDormand as what's her name in this? Fern, and then we
yeah.
just see her go, whoa, whoa.
And it's like,
She's like,
and it's like the caption on this clip is like Frances McDormand and takes a dump on bucket.
Yeah. I
No,
want that
And
to be
she
the clip of
actually
the
took a dump.
Oscars.
It was method.
Oh no, it's
She
like
timed it.
Fern
She-
takes a dump. Fern takes the dump.
Tara says, I need to get another drink.
What's weird is that after that scene, she was talking to the older woman who collected rocks and like had her emotional experience with the swallow birds and the eggs in the water, rambling. But that woman then started feeling ill in the scene, and I said, "Oh shit, they have food poisoning from the chili." I thought that was the story turn, and I was like, "Oh no, she's terminal."
No, I thought it was
Um,
gonna go somewhere like she got food poisoning or something like that, or like that it was kind of a foreshadow of
Someone's
something.
trying to kill the nomads. With
I guess that was
poison.
like I
No.
guess it would have been a plot driving reason behind it, but it just didn't seem like I don't know. It was just kind of it was
But I
funny
think
in
there's
a way.
I
but
think there's a
don't
lot of things in this movie though that just show the kind of lows. You know, like you also see her cleaning up vomit from a bathroom. You see her like there's
But
just
see,
a lot
that
of
to me-
gross shit.
Yeah, it was like a working class level
That-
existence. Yeah.
But
if,
that
if
makes
you
sense to
don't
me.
see that, then I feel like then you might just
No,
think
that
that
paints
oh,
the
this is
picture.
just kind of squeaky clean
Right.
life, you know.
I guess
I agree.
okay. I guess I can maybe come up with a reason for the poo in the bucket. It was like
Mhm.
what was it? She was right next to her kitchen and she was eating a banana? I don't know. Maybe I imagined.
She was
it.
playing the flute and then she
No,
pooped.
I
Talked
know.
about this.
No. I know she was playing the flute, but like I think that she was like it showed her. Was she making a smoothie, or am I confusing this with a different movie?
What is going
No
on?
smoothies. No
Not
smoothies.
in the scene
No.
right before, but like in a different scene. Because my thought was like, oh, I guess maybe they're showing that because they wanted to illustrate that she has to take a nappy ass diarrhea, like right next to the kitchen, where she maybe is making a smoothie the next day, or like the next 5 minutes. I don't know.
I don't know.
you
I
know
think
what?
it's just it's human. It was like a story that was honest and real and about
Well, yes, but
human
like
existence on the open road, and you had to have a shit in the bucket scene.
I know. Okay, look, the fact that she's cleaning up barf in the bathroom, that is contributing to showing the viewer what her life has turned into.
Yeah.
Like she has to clean up vomit. She's now a custodian, like at a freaking Nomadland fort or whatever the hell you call it. But like that makes sense to me. Like I can understand why they're trying to paint the picture here. But like just showing her get this diarrhea
All
attack,
right.
I thought was funny because it was like,
Are
why
there-
does she have to have a diarrhea attack? Why couldn't she just take a dump as a normal person?
I think it
Why
was
was
a
she
dump.
just? she
I didn't interpret it as diarrhea personally.
No, because she was like,
All right, are there
Like,
literally
She felt
any
it.
other scenes that we wanted to talk about in spoilers, or did we only want to talk about Frances McDormand taking a big old dump?
it was funny how she was like that. She was like, she was like, doo-doo-doo, and then she goes,
There was a beat. There was a beat. Yeah.
there was a beat.
She had to act.
And that was
She had to
acting.
act. She
That
was
was
her
acting.
tummy. She was like, huh.
The director's
Huh.
like, okay, I want you to be playing your flute, take a beat,
Feel the shit.
realize you're feeling
Right.
the rumble in the Bronx, and
Yeah.
then go to the bathroom.
You know
and
what?
Just be there.
What might have happened is maybe the first thing that she tried, her instinct was flute, and then just
Run.
you know, like, and then
Which would have been poor instincts as an actor,
Right,
a seasoned actor. I think she.
And
Probably
then Chloe
did
came
shit,
up to her.
maybe.
She was like, "All right, Frances,
Thing
that
is-
was really good. I liked what you were doing with your face there. I was enjoying the movement, but I think we're gonna need something in between there to
more
really guide
bodily.
the audience to you need to shit. So is there something that you could kind of do with your face?" And Frances is like, "Got it, okay,
Yeah.
okay, I got it."
And you bring the experience to the people through your body. Right.
I don't
she's
want
like,
to talk about the shit in the bucket scene more, but I heard that basically since Frances McDormand has gotten big, there's always a shit scene that she wants to do, and it always gets cut. And this is the first movie out of like 20 where they included the shit scene.
Mhm.
You're
the joke.
joking.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
okay. I was
joke.
like, wait.
He always
that would
wants
be-
a shit
That would be
scene.
so cool if that was true.
Mhm.
Oh, I guess there was another element of that scene that was of note, which is the fact that she doesn't use toilet paper; she uses a paper towel.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
I
Maybe
did
to illustrate the
audibly-
fact that she's poor.
I did say out loud. I was like, "Oh, no toilet paper."
Hey,
I
we
don't
all
even
know
remember that. We in the past, yes, definitely would run out of toilet paper and would resort to paper towels and multiple flushes to avoid.
I think she
clogging
was
it.
like,
It
she's like
happens.
looking around. She's like, oh, and then she reaches into the cabinet and grabs a paper towel.
And
Right,
she
is that what
and someone and I mean, if we really want to dig into all the beats of the scene, it's toilet paper, smell, open window, knock knock.
Oh, she
knock,
opened the window?
Knock knock
Nice.
knock, and then she goes, "I'm indisposed."
Right.
Well
Okay.
done. Good
Actually,
good
you know,
recall. I forgot
those
it led. It literally led out of the. It didn't cut to the next
Yes.
scene. She got interrupted and was drawn out into the next.
and now
scene,
we
yeah.
come to the point, which is
It does illustrate
We then understand that
the dynamics.
the dynamics of the next
Yeah.
scene, which is that she has just wiped her butt.
No, what
Right,
I
and
just
yet
thought
she
of something.
has to face this visitor who lives
Right.
next door.
She must
right,
face
I
it.
get
Yeah.
it.
She on the open road is enjoying perhaps ultimate freedom, but she lacks freedom in some of the most intimate human necessities,
You know
i.e.
what?
she's shitting and she's interrupted. It's like, yes, she has all this freedom in the big world, but then she's still at the mercy of people knocking on her van and wherever she's parked and all that. So there's a lack of freedom too.
Let's credit it with this. They included a poo scene, and it's given us food for thought.
I mean,
Who
Because
for
our-
thought?
Our-
Who for thought?
exactly.
Oh.
We've had a conversation about this scene now for like the last 15 minutes, and
Absolutely.
so maybe
This'll just end up being the
this
whole
was this is the whole reveal. This is the whole reveal. Look, I think it was actually a poignant scene. I loved it. Bravo.
I loved it.
poignant scene. So you've gone from calling out this scene as having no point to now it is poignant.
It's poignant.
No, I think it is, having come to that realization in this podcast, a comment on the limits of freedom on the open road.
Do you think they did like? Do you think they did like a Sundance like interview with the actor? Whereas like, you know, what's that show called where they interview actors on
inside the actor's studio?
inside the actor's studio
Yeah.
where they're like, okay, so Frances, I know you don't want to talk about this, the poo scene.
Yeah,
let's
the
talk
poo
about
scene.
it.
Mhm.
Like, do you think that they've gone into this much depth with that
No.
on other interviews, or is
I
it
do
sort
not.
of just a
Interviews?
passing-
No, certainly not.
Frances
don't
in her
think-
interview is like, she's like, oh yeah, that scene.
Mhm.
I
yeah,
don't know.
we did 50 takes. Yeah.
This is her. She's like, it was a really interesting scene because I had to put myself in that situation. You know
It
what
was
I mean?
Right.
She
method
does that.
acting.
Well, it's like
She's very
Chloe.
this.
Chloe smelled. This is immature. Like I was in the moment playing the flute, and I got gas. Chloe smelled it. She signaled, and I knew. And I should.
Chloe said, "Let's use this."
Yeah,
Let's
keep going.
use
Keep going. Keep going. There's
She
something
was like,
there.
it's method acting. Before this, I actually had jalapeno pizza, and I just did a few laps around the van, and sure enough, I came up to Chloe and I was like, Chloe, it's time.
No. She was like,
We're shooting,
Chloe, we
yeah.
need to cut, and Chloe was like, no. You know what? This is life.
Yeah.
Let's keep go. Roll, camera.
Camera
Yeah, I want to hear
rolling.
the.
Go.
Yeah, she's directing
Just
her
be
off
yourself.
camera during that scene. She's like,
Right,
"Shit,
she's
come
like-
on, shit."
She's like, give us more
That's all.
faith.
Enough about it. No more shit in the bucket talk. The movie deserves more.
We can circle back if we ever need to, but
We can
could
circle back.
Yeah.
I mean, it all comes back to that, obviously. And it's the one scene where she shat, and it's the one scene where she played the flute. So, for
And
what
it
it's
was the
worth.
one scene where she truly acted because
Right.
she was herself.
She responded to her own. What
She
was
was
happening
responding
within.
to her own stench.
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh, that really does smell." Okay, action.
Silly.
Chloe, roll. I mean, toilet paper roll. Need one. Oh, just use the paper towels. It's life.
Oh man.
Anyway.
Playing the word roll. That was good.
Right, exactly.
Anyways, this has been our 30-minute review of Nomadland. If you,
Oh, no.
if you
I think
liked-
we made this movie way more interesting than it was, by the way. Just saying. I mean, look,
yeah, anything else that we wanted to brief over besides the shit scene, or
to brief over.
I think the film is resonating because with the pandemic, unrelated to the bucket scene, which will go down in cinema history.
Mania.
I think it's resonating because of the pandemic too, and being isolated and suddenly being, existing in society and being pulled out of it or pulling yourself out of it. And so I think it's like hitting at the right time too. And that's also why it's making waves. And I think it's a special movie. I do. So fuck
It's
you.
special.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
No, look.
Tara
And so is
asks-
Frances McDormand. Tara?
Tara.
Tara.
Tara
Tara.
asks, so should I watch it or not? after 30 minutes of listening to us talk about shit, she's wondering, should she see this movie or not? Anybody
I think
have a...
It's worth a watch. I mean, look, there's not a whole lot on right now, so fuck it. Why not?
Oh,
Not a
I
whole
think
lot
it's worth a
on.
watch.
I
Yeah,
feel like
no, I
I've
think-
seen everything.
I it falls into the genre of like, atmospheric indie journey
Slice
films
of
where
life.
Slice of life, you're meeting different characters. There's definitely I don't even know if I saw Wendy and Lucy, but is it like that? Have you
haven't
guys seen
seen
Wendy
that.
and Lucy
Oh,
with
no,
Michelle
no.
Williams? I think it
Oh.
involves traveling and it's indie and probably has different characters she meets on the road. It's a subgenre of sorts. I don't know what I'm saying.
I mean, I
I
think
thought it was special and it made me feel things. It made me emote, like hearing, I don't know if we're still in Spoilerville, I won't spoil, but
No,
like
we are. Okay.
the guy with the beard who was kind of the guru of living this lifestyle, who is that in real life. I thought it was very powerful to learn from him about his son's suicide, and that's what drove him on the road. And they all had this horrible wound that they're trying to heal or deal with, or it just prevented them from living normally in society, whatever the wound was. And that guy, that scene was interesting because they were wearing the same clothes they were like an hour earlier in the film. So I think they basically had one long scene where they shot with him and Frances kind of riffing and talking, and they got his story, and they kind of saved that more towards like the third act because it was kind of this bomb reveal, like, oh, that's so hard. I don't know what my point is.
I mean,
Bada
it
boom.
had some moments.
Yeah,
I did like that it cast like real people. I mean, watching the movie, I was definitely thinking that. I was like, these seem like real people.
Yeah.
And I was right. I didn't know anything about the filmmaker, but I was like looking at the credits and noticing that like almost all the characters' names were their names, both as the character and as their true name. So I was like, oh yeah, those must have been real people. Seemed like it. So that was something.
Or the writer was lazy.
No, I think that it definitely had a cool tone in that way. And I think that movies that do that oftentimes
They
do.
tap into something, and I
Yeah.
think this movie did, and that's why it resonated with lots of people and
Didn't
resonated with me.
Was it Good Time that did that?
I haven't seen that film with Edward Cullen from Twilight. I don't remember the actor's name.
Robert Pattinson.
Pattinson, yeah.
He's really good in that movie. I mean, I
Cool.
really liked that movie, and I thought he did a very good job acting in it.
They cast non-actors, but not necessarily as themselves. But the
The Safdie brothers are the filmmakers. Yes,
Yeah,
I
Right.
recall.
The Safdie brothers cast non-actors, but it's not like so. I mean, specifically what she's doing though, Chloe, is she's like casting
They're
people as themselves.
Right.
Yeah, like they are
No,
not.
what movie?
Because they're living that life that the film.
No,
is
I got
telling.
it. But what was wasn't there another movie we reviewed where they totally had real actors playing themselves, like in their situations? What was it? I forget. Or am I think? I don't know.
I don't know.
Never mind.
But
okay.
But Safdie brothers is close though. I mean, yeah, they often cast non-actors and then they'll throw in like an A-lister. You know, same
Right.
thing with Uncut Gems, where it's like Adam Sandler and a bunch of people you've never heard of. Like I feel like they're really good at casting because of that, because they just find people who are generally kind of already like that to play characters similar to themselves, but it
Right.
is scripted. You know, like there is a script. It's just more open to like them to just kind of insert themselves into the script.
Sure.
Josh commented, "Any thoughts on the sexual tension?"
With David Strathairn,
Him
obviously.
And honestly, I'm gonna also say the little boy, twink boy, who was kind of at that bonfire at the end.
They didn't have sexual tension.
Oh, come on.
I
She
didn't
was
see it that
like-
way, but actually my wife mentioned something. She's like, "Oh, do you think he's?" And I was like, "No, he seems too fragile. That character. He seems to like he's dealing with something where Frances McDormand wouldn't sleep with him."
I know,
I
but
just
she
feel
came
like
up to
they
him with
say
a
that just-
sandwich and...
Just because it's like a male and a female in a scene, there's like this assumption that
You
they're
assume,
sex.
yeah.
and they're like alone, and that
True,
therefore there's
true.
some kind of weird thought process that happens in the human psyche where we're just like, oh, there's gonna be sex or something,
was
but
like,
it's like,
Well, you
no.
don't know where the scene's gonna go when she approaches him. It's a long walk, and
But
you're
I
like,
don't
"Oh."
feel like there. I didn't think there was any sexual like
Mm-mm.
anything going on between them in that way.
No,
Like-
I saw it as almost more. She was like the elder.
Yeah, I mean, they were like conferring with each other as fellow nomads, and one was a youth and one was an elderly person.
Mhm.
I'm like, elderly. No, I'm just kidding.
She's so
I'm not trying
old.
No. I mean,
Kidding.
look, I think that she's actually like a pretty dynamic person and pretty interesting person to watch.
Yeah, dynamic enough to win Oscars and be in
Yeah,
lots of movies.
But I couldn't help but think of that movie that I actually saw with Cara many years ago when we were in New Orleans together, which was a movie called Friends with Money. And Frances McDormand.
I've seen that. Yeah,
She plays like a wealthy designer, and I'm thinking like this is so funny because she's playing basically like the opposite character in this movie, and yet she's the same person. It's like the same character, almost in a lot of ways. Like
yeah, her vibe
it's
is like a
almost
no nonsense
her vibe is always the same. Like even though she's an actor, she's always kind of the same character, no matter who she's playing or what she's playing. Maybe that's just her bringing herself to the table, but it's not like a Gary Oldman type where it's like this is a person that's transforming before your very eyes into a completely different person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One other scene I wanted to just point out is like one of my favorites in the movie was when she went to go speak with her sister or temporarily live there, I guess, for one night. I actually
Good call
really
on
liked,
that.
I really liked their scene together where they're like talking on the bed and the sister. I feel like that's the biggest moment really we even start to like really understand Frances McDormand's character's motivations, even like what's up
And
with her the whole
right.
time. I'm like, well, okay, but really, what's up with her? And I
I
feel
guess
like,
but she does come from money, so I guess that makes some sense that I picked up on the like.
well,
she
but
has-
I
Is that said?
I just
What?
like.
I mean, I know her sister married into money, or like at least is living this life. I didn't necessarily gather that she came from money.
I think it was revealed that she did, but I don't know.
Dominic, your thoughts?
I don't really know. I don't recall that either, but I mean, maybe it was. But I what I liked about it more was just like her talking about, that character again, Fern, yeah. How Fern kind of always wants what she wants to move on to something else. Like she's always looking for the next adventure, and that was I thought really interesting an interesting kind of wrinkle to her character where she's not necessarily doing it because she has to. She actually has the choice to stay there, and I'm just thinking to myself like, God, why aren't you just staying at this house? This is like a perfect setup. Like, please stay there. But then it kind of made a little sense. I was like, okay, she's kind of like this person who she can't settle down. Like, she needs to find the next
She's
thing.
endlessly searching. Yeah.
I don't think it's. I didn't get that from that scene myself, though. I think that she didn't want to stay in someone else's land, like on someone else's terms.
On their terms. Sure, I can
Yeah.
see that too.
Like, I think she was very prideful, actually. She was like a prideful character, and that she felt this need to like make her own way. You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
Do her own thing.
Because she had the two options, David Strathairn and her sister. She could live in these two very safe, beautiful suburban environments, and
one of them was like the man was not somebody that was like from her past, and that, but it was still a situation where she was going to be supported by someone else, and therefore be on their terms and like in someone else's home. You know, but she lived with her husband. She had lived with her husband in that house apparently for a really long time. So it's not that she couldn't settle down, but I think that she was really stubborn and like really independent or whatever, and didn't want to succumb to being someone else's bitch or whatever.
And also maybe she didn't know what her ideal, goal was, or maybe the goal is just to keep moving. I don't know.
I think she wanted stability. I think she wants money. Like, she definitely wants to have money, but she just doesn't want to be handed money. But she doesn't want a handout or doesn't want to seem like a bum.
Yeah, and that is like Frances McDormand's vibe as an actress is always pride, like quiet pride. Like, she always kind of has that like, well, like, I'm keeping my mouth shut here.
She's
but
like, no, I do not need a place
I'm doing
to
my
stay.
thing.
I'm doing fine.
Right.
I will pay you back.
He's like, I'll pay you back.
Yeah, I'm going to pay you back. I'm going to pay you back. Sorry.
With that sister scene, just like I could see in a different movie, the sister being like, what are you doing out there? Like, that's nuts. But the sister was understanding and had a certain respect for her. She's like in the group, there was like a small like cookout group scene, and she kind of defended her. She was like, well, I think, what she's doing. I don't remember what she said, but so I liked that the sister wasn't just like this. When you first saw her, you might think she's like the buttoned up suburban type, but she was more layered and supportive, but also worried for her sister.
She had secret admiration for her.
Oh yeah. I mean, that was another part that I really liked was she was kind of like saying that she really liked the dynamic when they were young, because she would kind of keep her in check, that she knew what she was feeling even before she knew what she was feeling. I thought that was really poignant and poignant. To bring us back, to circle back to the shit scene. I felt like that was a poignant scene. No. But nearly.
What about the scene where she was like in the baby's room with the the BF, the boyfriend for life, who wants her to live at his house? I'll just comment on that scene in that I really loved the look of that cradle that was in that. It was so cute. It was like, I can't find. Never mind.
I don't recall, but I do recall the high chair, and the high chair was vintage and wood. And I thought, oh, they have good style, but I don't recall
they had
the
good
cradle.
style. I was like, I like it. It looks good. What?
That house was gorgeous. It looked like it was set in this.
that.
Had a big porch, and I would move in with David Strathairn.
Yeah, I know. It looked good. It looked real nice.
If someone needed that. Right. Anyways, I think we should probably wrap it up for today. We've been going for nearly 2 hours. But Matt, thanks again for being on this episode. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. I sat here, I talked, I thought of things. I appreciated your perspectives. My first podcast in life. Nomadland, shitting in a bucket, zombies. It's all flashing back before my eyes.
Yeah.
But
thanks for being on. We'd love to have you back anytime. Thanks, Laura, again for co-hosting.
How's next Sunday? I'll be back.
You're
No, I'm
welcome.
kidding. But
we do every other Sunday.
Someday.
Okay. Every other Sunday.
In fact, that just brings us right to the next point, which is we will have a new episode in 2 weeks. So if you watch this live on Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube, you can watch us again live in 2 weeks on March, I guess that'll be 28th. So join us there, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is when we go live every other Sunday. And if you can't watch us live, we always post these episodes on all the podcast services, so you can listen to us at any time afterwards. But yeah, that'll do it for us today. Nomadland, pretty good. Watch it, I guess.
Pretty good. Win Best Picture.
Could win Best Picture. Could win Best Shit.
Wait. Oh wait.
There you go.
Wait. Sorry. Is it officially billed as 2020 or 2021, like for Academy Awards?
For Academy Awards, it's 2020.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
so
like the typical.
So it's up against the other best movie.
Which is?
God, the other really boring movie that we saw last year, Fink or whatever. Wait, what was it called?
Oh,
Mank.
Mank.
No. Wait, Mank. Yeah.
Mank.
I don't think
By
Mank has the
Finch.
same resonance and buzz. I think it's highly
Yes, it
respected.
does.
I actually haven't seen
Doesn't
it,
it?
sadly. I need to,
Oh,
but
God.
I don't.
You don't have to.
I think.
Don't.
No, I definitely will.
No.
Gary Oldman,
It's so
Fincher, black and
boring.
white.
So boring.
I know it seemed like it was gonna be cool, but no.
It's boring. I love
Sorry.
Fincher too. Huge fan of Fincher. I mean, I'm sure he'll do great things in the future. that kid's got potential.
In the future. No, but yeah. Well, we can talk later.
Anyways,
I feel like I'll like it. Anyway. Yes.
That'll be it for Totally Tell Me. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Thanks again to Matt for being here, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. See ya.
Toodaloo.